I haven't watched a basketball game that has made me as angry as this Knicks-Pistons Game 2 made me. If you're a Pistons fan, it's time to get excited, but also don't lose your anger just because you won. The Pistons were out there playing against the refs and the New York Knicks tonight, okay? The Knicks were allowed to grab and push, and anything that Ausar Thompson did was going to be called a foul. Anything that Jalen Duren did was going to be called a foul. And it was some of the most one-sided refereeing that I've ever seen. But I don't want to just complain. I want to celebrate a Pistons team that did not give up in the face of adversity. Guys, these Pistons are young and they are hungry and they are well constructed. You have Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, what is the most dynamic young 1-2 duo in the league, okay? Cade gets to the rim at will, and he's way less of a free throw merchant than SGA. Cade is so big and so skilled, but also still a pass threat that he went into attack in this game, and he was able to drive the lane consistently with that incredible timing on his crossover, getting to his floater, finishing at the rim, and drawing ethical free throws. Meanwhile, the point guard for the other team, Jalen Brunson, you can look at the box score and go, oh, he had a great game. But if you're watching this, if I lost track of how many times Brunson completely throws a full stiff arm, but it's kind of like when you play pickup at LA Fitness. The shortest guy on the team is like, oh, I'll be the point guard. The shortest guy on the team fouls a little harder. Jalen Brunson is getting that type of whistle. He's getting that type of privileges. He is allowed to push off, full stiff arm, flail into contact, and if anything goes against him at all, the refs are going to call. Like, Steph Curry does not get a favorable whistle to the level that Jalen Brunson is getting a favorable whistle. And when you look at the rest of this Pistons roster, it's going to be tough for the Knicks to win this series, even with the refs' help. Detroit has athletes, and they are long at every single position. And I like Brunson and I like Josh Hart, but these are not the biggest players. Mikal Bridges is not the strongest player. Karl Anthony Towns is not known for his defense. The Knicks have issues. OG is the one that looks like a defensive menace out there. But besides OG, who do you have as a stopper? Mitch Robinson on this team? He has looked so slow since coming back from multiple foot and ankle injuries. Mitch Robinson is an offensive liability. When Mitchell Robinson comes into the game, everyone on the Pistons lights up because they know they're going to get the look that they wanted. This Pistons team, they attack you from multiple angles. They have two flamethrower three-point shooters in Tim Hardaway Jr. and Malik Beasley, and these guys are able to get hot at any time. Also, Dennis Schroeder is a perfectly starting caliber point guard, and the Pistons have him on the bench as a complete luxury. Then you add in the fact that you have Jalen Duren, and you have Paul Reed giving you 48 minutes of athleticism and defense from the center position. And this Pistons team doesn't really have holes. You know, we thought that their hole would be outside shooting, but they have enough of it in at all times. They don't have size issues at all. In fact, it feels like they're bigger and stronger than this Knicks team almost across the board. Like, Duren is beating up Karl Anthony Towns. Ausar Thompson on the glass versus a Brunson or even a Hart. Like, Josh Hart's probably the best rebounder on this Knicks team. And he's all of 6'4", maybe 6'5" if he's sitting on his podcasting chair. But this Knicks team does not have the bodies to sustain trying to box out, crash the boards, and rebound. And Tom Thibodeau's, he's throwing out these Knicks players, making them play 48 plus minutes in a game. I'm joking, but it's 40 minutes plus in a game. And then these guys get tired. The Pistons go legitimately 8 deep. They're not losing anything when they have Hardaway Jr. in there. They're not losing anything when they go to Schroeder. They're not losing anything when Paul Reed is playing defensive minutes because he's a defensive menace. And then lost in all this is the fact that Paul George is at home trying to podcast and Tobias Harris is playing meaningful playoff minutes. Tobias Harris is out here helping you win playoff games. That's gotta hurt if you're a Sixers fan. And it kind of goes back to the way the Pistons were constructed. This Pistons team has been smart buy after smart buy. The fact that Mikal Bridges goes for 5 first-round draft picks, and he was about as influential in this game as Dennis Schroeder was, a guy who you could pick up for literally free at the trade deadline. What, a second-round draft pick? Second round draft pick gets you a win in a playoff game. That is incredible general managing. I just like this Pistons team. When they drive to the lane, I feel like they mean it. I feel like this Pistons team, when they drive, is trying to get buckets and dunks and finish layups. I don't feel like they're trying to get free throws. You can tell the players are passionate. Like Asar Thompson was just pleading, reverse it. You know, every single time one of his 6 fouls was called, and this guy fouled out. 2 or 3 of his fouls were some of the most heinous, questionable fouls that you're ever going to see. Just ticky-tacky stuff. At one point, Malik Beasley is just screaming, playoff basketball, playoff basketball. It's playoff basketball over and over again, just begging for the game to be called fairly both ways. But, you know, this Pistons team, they obviously have had 2 different games so far where they had big leads and the Knicks were able to cut it down. I don't think they have the composure for a deep playoff run this year, but I'm so excited about how the Pistons can continue to build around Cade Cunningham, continue to build around this young core with Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson. And as long as they continue to buy these underpriced vets that are game ready without giving away all their draft picks, without committing all their cap space, this Pistons team could be a problem in the East for a long time. I mean, look at where we are. We're seeing, you know, Jalen Brunson a little banged up. We see Dame Lillard trying to come back from, I don't even want to pronounce what the medical, but he has a deep vein thrombosis. I think I said it right. Sorry guys, not a medical doctor. If you like this, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe. I'll be doing some more rants as we go through the playoffs, talking about NBA basketball. I'm so unbelievably excited about what this Pistons team is going to do in the rest of the series. The game's about to come back to Detroit. It's going to be April in the D. Pistons fans, are you excited about a legitimate chance, now that you have home court advantage, to upset this Knicks team that was supposed to be a championship contender? Upset this Knicks team that the NBA is telling its referees to give a preferential whistle to. This Detroit Pistons team is a lot like the Detroit Pistons teams of old. It reminds me a lot of those early 2000s Pistons teams. Really balanced, really well constructed, no flaws, plays hard, good coaching from Bickerstaff. I really don't have a problem penciling this Pistons team in for the second round. What happens if Jason Tatum is hurt and we have a Pistons versus Celtics matchup and the Celtics don't have their lead guard? What happens? I'm interested. I'm excited. This Pistons team is on the ground floor of how high they can be. They have amazing players under contract that are young and haven't even peaked. It's Pistons basketball. It's April in the D. Get in here. Get excited. Pistons in 6.